Way, after I broke up with we broke up and I went my way. I played with a couple of groups. I even had my own trios and quartets. That's when I started, more or less, working on the famous 52nd Street. Before I went on the street, that is, I joined Art Tatum, the great blind pianist. Mm-hmm. I joined Art Tatum out in California, and we did quite a few things out on the coast and worked our way back to New York City. That is 52nd Street, mm-hmm. where I played with Art Tatum mm-hmm. trio on at a place called the Three Deuces, mm-hmm. and that was really the beginning of a wonderful career. I played with Art Tatum until Art Tatum became ill, and one night he couldn't make our sessions. So I tried to make ends meet by, I had heard of a wonderful pianist down the street at another club. And his name was Earl Garner. Mm-hmm. And I had been down to this club listening to Earl once in a while. He was working at the same time on the street. That's what we call 52nd Street, the street, you know. Mm-hmm. And somehow I got an idea. This place, the Three Deuces, where I was working, it was left upon me, really. The manager of the place asked me to see what I can do to replace Art Tatum. He couldn't make it. Mm-hmm. And I thought for a minute, well, why don't I run down the street and see Earl Garner and see if he can kind of help us out. So that's what I did. And his boss, Earl's boss, he was working a place called Tondeleo's. Mm-hmm. And his boss, I asked his boss and Earl, could Earl help me out to play a couple of sets or so with me in the Three Deuces, mm-hmm. while Art couldn't make it. And it was so nice of his boss to let Earl to do this. Earl would, here's what happened. Earl would play his couple of sets in his place and run down to my place, the Three Deuces, our place, and fill in and took Art Tatum's place with what we call eventually my trio. And we had on guitar John Collins at the time. And so that happened for a few nights. Art wasn't still able to make it. As a matter of fact, we found out that Art he was becoming very seriously ill, so he had to go back to California. Mm-hmm. So that left it up to me to keep things going at the Three Deuces, which eventually Earl Garner's boss let him join me permanently, you know. Mm-hmm. It was awfully nice of him to have it, to do that, you know. Mm-hmm. So